not gonna do that. All right, this next speaker is all about mindset, which is so important. Lia Bliss has been coaching for 8 years and works with women who are ready to make big changes in their happiness. Her teachings cover the 6 relationships where you're able to find the balance and happiness in your day-to-day relationship. Lia really is just like your best buddy. The fundamental principles of her teaching revolve around the idea that you are one decision away from a completely different life. Without further ado, here is Lia Bliss with Reigniting Your Power.
What a year it's been so far. Oh my goodness. It's so interesting how we've now been thrust into this new normal. I was so looking forward to being there at Mom Show. I've been working with the Mom Show team, and ever since I met them, I have been so impressed and on board with everything that they're doing, and so I am beyond excited to be here with you guys today. What I want to share today is something that I think we all need: how to step into your power. Having a sense of personal power is so important, and I want to talk a lot about that today. But with the way that things are right now, I've heard a lot of people talking about how they wish we could go back to normal. Oh, I can't wait till we go back to normal. Things are going to be so awesome when it's all back to normal. And even before a global pandemic and a nationwide quarantine, I've never really loved the concept of back to normal. It's not something that's ever sat well with me because I don't like going backwards. I have been on the self-development and self-progress bandwagon for so many years that the idea of going back to something doesn't resonate with me anymore. Collectively, we have been stronger than we've ever had to be before. We've been braver and more creative and more resilient than we probably thought we ever possibly could have been. We have had to be strong in ways that we could not have anticipated. The decisions that we make today will shape the decisions that we make tomorrow. Honestly, we are all figuring it out right now, and that's okay, because what an amazing time to be alive. What an amazing time to be reining in our own personal power. We have already proved that we are smarter, stronger, harder working, more creative, and more resilient than we thought. We are laying the foundation for generations to come. We are showing our children exactly who we are. Now, while this collective strength is frankly awe-inspiring and should fill you with a sense of pride, what about your own personal strength? What about your own personal power? We are setting foundations for the future, but what about your own personal future? Moving backwards is not an option. So what future are you working towards for yourself? When I work with my one-on-one clients, a practice that I have every single one of them do is to write their own obituary. And as weird as that may sound, it's really great because you get to see the culmination of your entire life. Because do you really want to look back at your life and say, I went with what was ever easiest. I had opportunities come and I kind of went the path of least resistance. I never figured out what I actually wanted, so I never tried for anything, so I never really accomplished anything. They say knowledge is power, and I couldn't agree more. Knowing what you want out of life gives you the power to go after it. Jen Sincero, in her book, You Are a Badass, says the universe responds to details, and this couldn't be more true. What a way to step into your power by knowing exactly what you want, down to the nitty-gritty details. This is why things like vision boards, journaling, and knowing your why are so important. Stepping into your power is stepping into yourself, knowing who you are, what you love, what you say hell yes to, and what you say no to. All of these things are so incredibly powerful. You are the youest you that ever you'd, and the world would be a different place without you. A lot of my teachings revolve around the 6 relationships. And when I do these to a crowd, I usually ask people to start shouting out what they think their most important relationships are. It usually is something like my significant other, my parents, my kids, my boss. And a lot of times we forget the most important relationship that we have with ourselves. How well do you know yourself, your likes and dislikes? What makes you happy? What lights you up? I teach that the 6 most important relationships are yourself, your higher power, your tribe, your network, your money, and your time. But frankly, all of those things don't matter unless you know yourself, unless you can step into that power. All of the world revolves around energy. Everything is energy. Money is energy, time is energy, love is energy, everything is energy. And putting your energy in the right place is so important. If you spend your money on things that you don't really need or don't really care about or don't even know where your money goes, you're spending energy, but you're wasting it. You're wasting the energy that you have, your life force, your time. All of these things make you you. Now, the group of people who I think have it totally figured out, who will absolutely disagree with me when I say this, is artists. Whether it's living in a house where my mom loved classical art or just going to museums and really enjoying that. That's one of my most favorite things to do with my son is go to the museum. And I think art captures so much emotion and energy and is so powerful. Any kind of art, whether it's performance art like singing or dance, or if you're painting on a canvas, if you're sculpting something, art is the most raw and vulnerable that we can get. And I think artists practice this raw vulnerability more often, and so they have a few things figured out. In his article on vulture.com, Jerry Saltz talks about how to be an artist. It's 33 steps. And one of my most favorite practices to come out of there is something that I've been doing with my clients for a long time, only the artist way, and honestly, it's so much better. I often have my clients write down a list of everything that makes them happy. And I encourage them to incorporate more of those things into their life to have a better, more fulfilled life. Makes sense. But what Jerry Saltz says is to write down everything that you like. Everything. We're talking paintings, art, architecture, music, a word, a smell, a sound, whether it's a person or a place or an idea, to just keep a running list of every single thing that you like. After you've compiled a list, you're able to look through it and kind of find a commonality. I did this and I found that I have been living a fear story. It's false evidence appearing real. It's a story that we tell ourselves about ourselves that's completely untrue. And we craft our lives around these stories that somewhere in our past we latched onto and said, yes, that's me. And a lot of the stepping into your power is discarding these old stories, especially stories of victimization or the can'ts and the shouldn'ts and the won'ts. We want to step into the power of the cans and the wills and the have-dones. I love the manifesting idea where when you do an affirmation, you say it in the present as if it's already happened. I have blank. I am whatever. Make your affirmations present and real and get emotional about them. But as I went through the list of things that I like, the fear story that I am not a romantic got thrown out the window. I love all things Baroque, French, period, romance. And I had no idea. It's funny because Beauty and the Beast, my favorite movie. I love beautiful gold gilded art and all of these things that, yes, I knew I liked them, but seeing them in a list together really screamed, you've got a deep, beautiful, romantic connection to all things purely romance. And that changed a lot about the way that I saw myself. And so getting to know yourself through an artist's perspective, I think is one of the best ways to step into that power. Really get to know yourself. We work so hard when we're dating to get to know our significant other. What are their likes and dislikes? How can I be a better support to them? With your children, you want to foster a love for different things. You want to help them find the things that they're passionate for. And as a great parent, we do these things, but as a great person, we need to do these things for ourselves. There is nothing I love more than confidently saying no. It feels so great. And the best way to know what to say no to is to know what to say yes to. When I have my clients write their obituaries, we walk it back. We walk back their obituary. All right, if I've accomplished A, B, C, and D by the time I'm 80, what must I have accomplished by the time I'm 60, by the time I'm 50, 40, 30, 20? Where do I start today that's gonna take me on the path to get to where I want to end up? I really honestly have a love-hate relationship with the concept of find your why. I think it's overplayed, but I think the importance, and especially recently for me, has come into play. Having been at home, working from home, and relying on my business 100% has really given me a reason to find out why. Why am I waking up early? Why am I exercising? Why am I doing all of these things? Why am I doing all of these things? Knowing the reason behind the method to the madness is the key to stepping into our power. Knowing what we're saying hell yes to and why we're saying hell yes to it is the difference between a life that we wake up excited about and a life that we just have regrets and we look back on with lessons and not knowing really what drove us. For a lot of us, our kids are our why. Whether you have a baby on the way or your kids are all in college and you're looking at them feeling pride in any stage of their life, understanding why you want to give them the best life, why you want to give yourself the best life. What do you want to have accomplished by the time someone reads your eulogy? Do you want financial freedom? Do you want to be able to walk into a crowded room with your head held high, feeling confident about the person that you are? Why are you doing the things that you're doing? The reason I have such a problem with the find your why is that there's not emotion behind it. And in order to combat this, I really like the what. What about the process gets me fired up? Because yeah, that's a great reason why you want to go out and live your best life and you know exactly what you want to do. But oftentimes, and with the girls that I coach, I see this a lot. They have these big dreams. They have this life that they want to live and they know exactly where they want to end up. Our life isn't just a series of accomplishments. It's every day. And so a big part of the power that you have and being able to live the life of your wildest imagination, your best life, is to have a life where the in-between is so great. What a great in-between life you want to have. Between all of the vacations and the big celebrations and the accomplishments, you want to have a life that the day-to-day gets you excited. And that's where, instead of the find your why, I love the find your what. What about accomplishing this goal gets me excited? Arguably, it's the same thing. I just like the phrasing better, and that's just how I am. So what about these big goals fire you up? What about the day-to-day, the grinding out, the doing of the goals makes you happy? Maybe it's fitness related and you want to have a rockin' beach bod, which I think all bods are rockin' beach bods, but what about going to the gym? What about going to yoga class 3 times a week gets you excited? Because if you want to accomplish your goals, the things that are going to get you to those accomplishments have to also excite you. I love weightlifting and I love yoga, and so those whats get me closer to my fitness goals than the action of waking up and running every single day. And so find your what. If you want to work for yourself, own your own business, be independent, if you want to live a life that gives you all of the things that you want, what about the process of creating that life is exciting to you? And let me tell you, once you figure that out, there's no stopping you. I romanticize about the idea of having my own business and working from home and being able to be my own boss. But the day-to-day minutia of all of the back-end stuff, that doesn't excite me. And if that's all it was, honestly, that's not my best life. But the what that gets me through all of the bleh, the what is the hours that I spend with my clients one-on-one, seeing their breakthroughs and tracking their progress and celebrating their accomplishments with them. I know that we don't love taking our kids to soccer camps and doing all of these mundane errands that really culminate our entire lives. It's those beautiful moments of the what. It's seeing the excitement on our kids' faces. It's seeing these day-to-day mini accomplishments and pulling the beauty out of the mundane. That is the what that keeps us going every single day. You can have your goals, you can have your why even, but the what you do every single day that lights you up is where the real magic is. And that's where that power comes from. Knowing that you could be spending your time wasting away on tasks that are not going to bring you any closer to your goal. You could do that. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of your life. It's a waste of your power and your creativity and your brilliance and your magic. But being able to hone in on the things that fire you up, that get your creative juices going, that move you to work towards that best life, those are the whats that you need to start piling up more of. Figure out what you love and what makes you excited and incorporate more of them. And then figure out a way to stack them all together to create a path and a plan, and then that's going to lead to success, right? Motivation and success, those are words that get thrown around a lot. What do they even mean? I love the fact that willpower comes first, and then success, and then motivation. Have the willpower, find the power, figure out why, figure out what, and then go and stand in that power and live your best life. We know that going back is not an option, but looking back is something that we should absolutely do. We should look back at our past success and remind ourselves when we were the most badass. A lot of times we think that motivation comes, which will drive us towards success. But in reality, willpower comes, and then success comes, and then we're motivated to continue that success. And so to jumpstart this whole success, motivation, whole process of achievement, we really need to look back and remind ourselves when we were the most badass. What were we doing? Who were we spending time with? Look at your relationships. What relationship did you have with yourself when you were the most successful? What relationship did you have with your higher power, with your tribe? Who were you spending time with? Who was influencing you? What were you doing for work? What were you doing with your money? What were you doing with your time? Looking back is a great way to remind ourselves of how successful we can be. Now, on the flip side, we also should look back at our failures. Failure is not a great word. I like the word lesson. So we can look back at our lessons, the things that we can look back and know, I didn't really do my best, or that wasn't completely a success. And what can we learn from these? There is no going back. There is no back to normal. There's only forward. And part of the power that you get to own is knowing that you are in absolute control. Take a look at your life. I'm going to say something crazy. You are 100% responsible for your entire life. Now, whether that scares you to pieces, makes you angry, or fills you with pride is completely up to you. But you have the chance to look back at the success and the lessons that you've had in your life and make the conscious decision to make the effort to move forward to a better life for yourself. I think we've all experienced at one time or another the sense of mom guilt. It's real. Whatever it is that we think that we failed at, we have mom guilt over. But that transcends just being a mom. There's life guilt. Wasting time, wasting money, wasting relationships, seeing that text and knowing that you didn't respond, but you should have, and that nagging in the back of your mind that there's things that you probably should get done. Having a great relationship with all of the 6 relationships, yourself, your higher power, your tribe, your network, your money, and your time, is really the quickest way to stand in your own personal power. What better power than knowing exactly the value that you bring to your work? What better value than knowing that you've got a super supportive team around you? What kind of power, if you're surrounded by people who are not making you feel like a complete badass every single day and inspiring you to live your best life, what are you doing? Get a new tribe. We have the chance to move forward with decisiveness. We are allowed to choose the rest of our lives. The universe responds to details, and you are the artist of your own life. So go ahead and step into that power. Know yourself. Take the time. Get rid of the mom guilt and understand that the best moms come from knowing exactly who they are and exactly where they're going. You will provide your family with so much more stability and support, creativity, love, free time, and beautiful memories when you are working towards becoming your best self. And your best self is absolutely powerful. I'm Lia Bliss, personal coach, powerful badass, and founder of the Bliss Mindset Personal Training. I am so glad that you have been here with me today. If you have any questions for me, please go ahead and feel free to contact me. I'm also offering for everyone through the Mom Show $500 off their personal one-on-one coaching package with me. If you want to go ahead and learn more about what coaching with me looks like, schedule a call. Your first call is absolutely free. Thanks again and have a fantastic rest of your day.